Guys, look, I was looking at my channel, a quick little intro here, 543 new subscribers in the last 6 months to this channel. I do this dumb thing where I come out into my garage and I talk about movies because I'm a cinephile and I love them so much. And I often dive into horror. We're in award season, which is always a big time on my channel because I do predictions, which is what you tuned in for. If you have not joined yet and you want to subscribe, it would mean the world to me as I'm getting close to 1,000 subscribers. Which, honestly, what the hell? I told myself I wouldn't cry today. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the garage. Gerald here with you. The Oscars are upon us. The 2024 or the 96th Annual Academy Awards. Obviously, the nominations being released a couple weeks ago. And every year I come in here and I rank the nominees in the major categories. I put up a video a few days ago for my best picture rankings. I'll throw a tag up here for you. Make sure you check out that video. It's been getting some heat online. But as I'm going to tell you with this video as well, it's just my personal opinion of these films, of these performances in this case. It's not my prediction for who's going to win the Oscars, because I will also do that as we get closer to the broadcast, probably the end of February, something like that. This is just how much I enjoy them on a personal level, where I would rank them if I was voting in the Academy, which, let's be honest, I'm in my garage. I'm not doing that. Today, we're going to look at the lead acting performances and the 5 nominees in each category for Best Actress and for Best Actor. Let's get into it. We're going to start with what I think is probably the least of the two in terms of controversy and discourse that I saw online, and that's for Best Actor. I'll give you my top 5 to 1. Here we go. My number 5 among the Best Actor nominees is going to go to someone that I have a man crush on, someone that I have loved for countless years, somebody who made one of my favorite movies of all time back in 2018 as a filmmaker, but also as an actor. I'm talking about Mr. Bradley Cooper. This dude, after this year, now has 12 nominations from the Academy Awards. So apparently they love him too, but they won't give him the gold. I did like the film, but it's a very okay, fine movie for me overall. However, Bradley Cooper is one of the greatest alive. There's a reason he's been nominated 12 times. I think he did a really, really good thing here, but this is such a strong group. And Bradley... My number 4 among the actor nominees is Jeffrey Wright from American Fiction, a film that is so powerful, so funny, and like I said in my best picture rankings, it was the biggest surprise for me this year. And I love Jeffrey Wright. He's been a character actor most of his career, but obviously taking the lead here in American Fiction. Cord Jefferson, a first-time director, you can tell he has a really keen eye on being able to balance the subject matter of something that could be overly serious and is super important in our society today. Looking at it from a blanket perspective, I'm talking about race relations, but the performances here and the screenplay are phenomenal. They really, really are, along with a lot of the text in the film. Jeffrey Wright's performance was extremely down to earth and real. And among the nominees, there's one other one that kind of rivals him in terms of that realistic, just come here and be with us and watch this dude live his life kind of performance. But I'm so happy that he got recognition, because what a great career Jeffrey Wright has turned in. The other one I was talking about that seems very real and grounded and down to earth is Paul Giamatti from The Holdovers, and that's my number 3 among the Best Actor nominees. The guy takes his Golden Globe, which he won for this movie, to In-N-Out Burger. That's this character. The film is like a warm hug. The film is going to be one that I visit every holiday season, most likely. It is a great coming-of-age story, but also a coming-to-term story when you're looking at it from Giamatti's perspective. And much like other actors in this category, Giamatti has done so many great things in his career. He's also had some snubs in his career, but not this year. He's getting the recognition he deserves for The Holdovers. And when I do my predictions video in about a month or so, if I was doing it right now, it is a tight race with another dude that I'm going to mention shortly, but Giamatti is looking good to maybe walk away with the gold this year. My number 2 might come as a bit of a surprise, but I absolutely fell in love with not only the historical significance of Bayard Rustin in the movie Rustin, but I fell in love with Coleman Domingo as an actor. I know that he's been super loved and adored going back to bit parts on shows like Euphoria. I loved him in a movie a couple years ago from A24 that was fucking weird called Zola. So I've known about him and I've enjoyed his work, but he absolutely floored me in Rustin. What's so phenomenal about his performance and why it's my number 2 here is because the movie is, for lack of a better way to put it, pretty mediocre. So his performance rose above that. But I'm going to turn this character into this grandiose, charismatic, leaps off the page character. And he did that. I mean, I was just infected by his performance in this movie and how likable he was and how courageous he was. I'm so glad that Coleman Domingo was that conduit for me, and I assume for people like me that unfortunately didn't really hear Bayard Rustin's story growing up. I mean, obviously Martin Luther King, of course, civil rights, of course, but for some reason, and it's kind of explored in the movie a little bit, Rustin's name was kind of put in the back of the book there. And I'm so glad that Coleman Domingo did what he did in this movie. And my number 1 amongst the Best Actor nominees is Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, LFG. I could say so many things about Murphy and his career, but working with Christopher Nolan for the better part of 20 years was the Scarecrow in the Batman films, obviously Inception, and here we go in Oppenheimer, which is the duo's collaboration magnum opus, in my opinion. Let's make it over 3 hours long, and let's incorporate a lot of really weird imagery and flashes and editing and the score, which is, oh my God, forget it. But in talking about Murphy's performance specifically, he brought this guy to life for a new generation, for me and for generations of people that maybe did not know his story. I also think along with Giamatti, he's right there in terms of a front runner for winning this award. I really don't know what I'm going to do for my prediction when that happens, because right now they're literally like this. Nothing was as powerful and as memorable to me as Cillian Murphy. He is my number 1 amongst this year's Best Actor nominees. All right, I'm going to switch over to Best Actress, all right? And I'm going to start, I apologize for the potty mouth, I'm going to start my top 5 for Best Actress nominees with what the fuck, guys. Annette Bening is my number 5 for Naiad. I saw this movie early. I had a screener for it. It was obviously a Netflix property. They pushed it pretty hard and it worked. It's weird because Annette Bening is an actress that I really like. I really like her. She's done a lot of things in her career that stick with me and are among some of my favorite movies of all time. That is not the case, in my opinion, for Naiad. I do not think it's a bad performance, but I do not think it's nomination worthy. What are we doing here? I think this was a nomination that spoke to Annette Bening's adoration amongst the Academy members and her resume and her history in Hollywood, which, while I think I could be on board with that, but what if she were going to win this? This is the performance that we're supposed to remember Annette Bening's illustrious career from? I don't think so. And I'm sorry, any Annette Bening fans, I do love her. I just don't think this is her Oscar best. Number 4, another actress that is just loved by the Academy and could pop up literally anytime she's in a movie. And that's Carey Mulligan for Maestro here at my number 4. From an acting perspective, she was my favorite part of this movie. Very heartbreaking, especially in the last act of the film. I won't give anything away for those of you that haven't seen it, but her character goes through this arc that is very tragic, and she carries it with such elegance throughout this film, and it really does become a story about their romance. It becomes their love story and kind of detaches itself from his legacy and his music. And I think Mulligan really helps shift that narrative halfway through the film to say, okay, we're following this now. And I think without Mulligan's layered performance there, an emotional performance, like I said, especially like in the last half hour, I don't think it would work. It already kind of wasn't working, and I think her performance kind of held it together to where it's a film that I admire and appreciate and would watch again now. My number 3 is going to be an actress that I was not familiar with prior to seeing this movie. Is Sandra Hüller from Anatomy of a Fall. She also had some chatter as a supporting role in The Zone of Interest this year, and I also saw her in that. And in Anatomy of a Fall specifically, what a mesmerizing performance that is perplexing and magnetic. She really does a great job keeping the ambiguity and the mystery of this character alive, because her performance is very heartbreaking, but it carries that little twang, I should say, of skepticism throughout surrounding her character. Obviously, I'm not going to give anything away. It becomes a courtroom drama at one point, which was super fascinating from a French courtroom perspective. But Sandra Hüller in particular has a couple scenes in this movie. It was truly a fly on the wall scene, and a lot of scenes with Hüller in this movie feel that way, where it's like the camera's not there. And she is that woman. She is that character. All right, my number 2 and my number 1 are the two ladies that are neck and neck going for the award as well. And I think that's the way it should be, because I think these are the two best female performances this year. My number 2, first up, is Emma Stone from Poor Things. Emma Stone's career is like, I fanboy over the arc of her career. I mean, going all the way back to a movie like Superbad. And you start there and you follow the arc of her career to a movie like Poor Things. And of course, she's going to have countless on the horizon. What a story. What an actress. I mean, I'm not even kidding you. Like, so many, we talk about range with actresses. Not only does Emma Stone have that range, I mentioned Superbad, Easy A, La La Land, which of course is Oscar. I mean, you know what happened there. And now Poor Things. Not only does she have that range in her career, she has range in this movie as Bella Baxter, playing with different moments of a person's life, from an infant to what I'll guess would be somebody in their 30s by the end of the film. And her maturation and her growth, emotional growth as a character, her knowledgeable growth as a character. I mean, what are we looking at here, guys? This is one of the most phenomenal performances, regardless of what you think of the movie. The performance that Stone puts in and her dedication to this screenplay, to the character of Bella, easily one of the best performances of the year. And my number 1, you've probably figured it out, is Lily Gladstone from Marty Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon. You know, it was chattered in the first 6 months in the news for making Oscar headlines and being a contender that she was going to be a supporting actress. She would probably walk away with that award. However, Apple shifted, and they said, we're going to put her in the Best Actress discussion. My pick is Lily Gladstone, because while that movie was a good movie and I enjoyed it, I gave it high marks. I think it was like a 3.5 for me on LETTERBOXD. Whenever Lily Gladstone's Molly was on camera, and when she was the central focus of that film, I was sucked in to what was happening. I was so invested in her, and by extension of that, the Osage people. When she wasn't on screen, I found myself going somewhere else, drifting off, if you will. She did that thing in this movie where I craved her character on screen, and that was when I connected to this movie emotionally. This is a performance that should be honored, and I'm talking about from my perspective. Hopefully the Academy agrees with me. And then you take the narrative as the first Native American nominated for Best Actress and all that stuff, which is amazing. I'm so happy for it. I hope it happens for her. She's my pick. When I make the predictions, I'm going to try not to go with my heart, which I do a lot of the time. But I'll just say, if I was going with my heart, it would be Lily Gladstone. Guys, thanks for watching. You can expect another one of these in the next few weeks or so for my supporting rankings as well. I'll do supporting actress and supporting actor, probably in the same video like I did here. And then following that, I will give you my predictions for the major top-of-the-line categories of who I think is going to win at the Academy Awards, or who's most likely to win. And we'll see how wrong I am. But I got to stop trying to go with my heart. That's where I mess up. This video was for my heart. What did you guys think of my rankings? Give it to me, just like you did for the Best Picture rankings as well. Don't forget to check out that video too. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I really, really, really appreciate it. Like I said in my intro, thank you so much. I'll see you guys out here next time in the garage.